Well, Donnie, a lot's happened since we last talked. Talk about the games first of all. 3-1 week, get a road win against a Portland team that's prior to us playing, they pitched really well, and then you come up with a series win over Utah in the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's a good way to start. Going to Portland. Portland's been playing good baseball, like you said. They've been pitching great. And for us to have a 10-0 game down there, it showed we played some defense. Obviously, we pitched well and we swing it well. We really needed that start out of Kyle, and we'll need one tonight from him too. But Kyle, I think, set a good tone for the week for us on the mound. Obviously, a great day for the Cougs and Derek to break the record that day on a grand slam to win a game. It's Derek hit for the cycle this year and was coming off a loss, and my immaturity, I didn't even know he did it, so I didn't even get to congratulate him after the game like I should have. So it's nice when you break a record and do something special in a win, and everybody can celebrate it, and Derek can celebrate it too, because Derek's the type of guy that's not big on records if they don't win the game. So it was a good start. Solid series against Utah. We played really good Friday night and won a ball game. Played really good Sunday, won a ball game. Saturday we didn't play bad. Utah played better. We just got beat, and that's you can accept that. It's disappointing, but you can accept when you get outplayed. And just giving games away. Maybe in the fashion when we came back and had a chance to win the game, that's probably the disappointing part. But you got to credit Utah for not stop playing and making plays when they needed to make plays. But if you went 3-1 every week, you'd be really, really happy. So we made some progress this week. We got to continue to make more progress. But I really liked what we did on the mound.
Let's talk a little about the big picture. How fun was it maybe take a little bit of a step back from the grind of a season and have that moment with Derek Friday before the game, Jeff Hooper coming back, parents on the field? Those got to be special moments for you as a coach.
Yeah, they're special moments, and they're also sad because it's winding down too. Because I've known Jonesy for a long time, and been coaching him here now for almost 4 years. But it's awesome to see somebody work so hard and to be rewarded. It's not like that home run record was given to Derek. Derek's put his time in, and Derek's earned all those home runs that he's hit, and hopefully he'll continue to hit more. It's really neat to see a guy like Jeff Hooper come back and also want to honor Derek, and he's around the program still enough to know about these players and how we do things, and he was genuinely excited to have Derek break his record. It's a 25-year-old record, and it's been standing for a long time, and for Derek to do it the way he's done it, kind of in the league that he's played in, with and kind of in the 2 years of it, kind of a dead bat era, he's done a heck of a job. So definitely, really, really proud of him, and it's neat to watch him. You'd know better than me, but all the numbers that he's compiling in his career and all the top 10 lists that he'll be in, it's neat to be able to coach one of the guys that I consider, and I think most people will, when he's done with his career here, one of the Cougar great baseball players.
Talk about the opponents this week. Gonzaga, the regional rivalry, it's always convenient to get a few games with them, but it's never easy. They're back in one of the polls this week, and they're throwing a guy who had some success against us the first time we played him this year.
Yeah, they're a good club. They're they're doing it all. They're playing solid defense. They're pitching the ball well. They can really swing the bat. And they're throwing a guy that just came in and just shut us down last time. We were up to a 3-0 lead. They went to the pin, I think, in inning 2. Maybe it was inning 3, and he shut us out the rest of the way. So it's definitely a big challenge for us. I think, I believe it's a good game for both teams because traditionally it's both a really good RPI for both teams. Sometimes in college baseball, you're trying to find wins, and there's just certain teams in certain areas of the country you can just go find wins. Well, you're not going to just find wins here because I don't think our team goes up thinking, hey, we're just going to take care of Gonzaga without a problem. And I'm assuming they don't feel the same way just by the rivalry the last couple of years. So, hopefully we just continue to play good baseball, and hopefully midweek games helps both teams on the weekend.
And then I know you look at the numbers, but I don't think you strike me as somebody who gets caught up in them. But if you look at the RPI, the Cougars a little bit lower than where we want to be, but a ton of games left against teams that are in front of you. But at the end of the day, you're one back in the loss column in the conference race. So it just seems like if you keep winning series, that's going to take care of itself.
Yeah, if you win baseball games in our conference with our remaining schedule, you're going to fly up the RPI. You know, if you're in the top half of our conference, you go to the NCAA tournament, and a lot of teams host games in the NCAA tournament, but we can't worry about that. It's always, you know, it's a goal of our program to be a postseason team on a yearly basis. But if you're worried about that, that's the result of playing good baseball. So we got to play good baseball, and that's the process. And if we play good baseball, there's a good chance you're going to win ball games, and you move up the lists, whether it's RPIs or league schedules, any of those types of things. But you got to play good baseball. And we're trying to be consistent. I think we found a little bit more confidence in ourselves, and now we got to find some more consistency in ourselves. If you can combine those two things, good things will happen.
The Cougs obviously jumped up in the standings this last week. You get another opportunity this week. Oregon's got a guy Friday night pitching pretty well right now for them. But if you go in there and have some success, and that puts you at the halfway point of the league season, do you start maybe looking at a little bit bigger picture, or do you just try to keep it that one pitch, one series at a time?
You just got to keep it one pitch at a time, one game at a time, one series at a time. You know, after Gonzaga's game today, we'll put it to rest, and we'll think about Oregon. They're the hottest team in the country right now, and it's Coach Horton and his staff are doing a tremendous job with their team. I think Oregon was a little bit like us last year. I think, I think they probably underachieved a little bit with the returning players they had, because I sure know that we didn't. I don't think Coach Horton would take offense to that. We talked about that last year, but both of our teams kind of maybe not doing as well as we'd like to with the returning pitching staffs we had. Obviously, he had Anderson as a first rounder, and Conley was a second rounder for us. So to kind of see his team do what they're doing, I'm not surprised, just because they're just really well coached, and they got good players. And you talk about Cadell on Friday nights. It's just, I think he was a late round draft pick last year as a junior. Said no to professional baseball to come back, and he came back probably for moments like this to lead his team and be that Friday night guy. And I'm not saying that his stuff is, one of the top 10 stuff guys in the country, but he's pitching it like that because I'm quite sure there's big belief and there's a ton of confidence. And every time he goes out, it looks like Alex has given his team a chance to win. And I think that's senior leadership that you're looking for people. We've had that in the past here. Matt Way, when he went out, he gave his team a chance to win every time he went out there. Jason Miller, we've had guys chat on in the past. So I think we know what the recipe is like. So it'll be a great challenge against a team that really, really does it right. You win games by pitching and defense. So if you are a numbers guy and you look at the pitching and defensive numbers for Oregon, that's how they win games.
Last question for me. Is it more fun? I know you've talked about being in tight games, kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit. I mean, Oregon's a team that plays in a lot of tight games. We certainly played a lot of tight games. Is it more fun to coach in those type of games where maybe every move might mean a little bit more?
Yeah, the tight games are that's when you learn a lot about your team and learn a lot about the players in your team. The unfortunate part about tight games is you don't expand your roster as much. I'm a big believer in depth and a big believer in getting players ready, and I think you get ready more by games. And some of our younger kids, unfortunately, have had to get better in practice, and that's important too. One guy in particular that's not playing a lot is Jordan Copeland. I think Jordan's can be a great player in our program. But Tommy's our starting senior second baseman, and Tommy's playing as good as anybody in the conference at that position right now. So we haven't got Jordan a lot of opportunity to play in those games. Benny Roberts is redshirting for us, a 7th round pick, but just playing awesome in practice and really, really working at his game, so he's getting better. So that's the downfall of the tight games where guys don't play as much. But I want to play in those games because look at the NCAA tournament, look at the Super Regionals, look at Omaha. Those games are 4-2, 5-3, 7-5. Those are the types of games that you want to play in one day because those are the venues and those are the places that you want to play. So you want to simulate that. When you're playing 15-1 games, I don't know if you really learn anything about your team because I think the score kind of dictates sometimes guys' effort and their mind wanders and they don't necessarily do things the right way. Trust me, I like to blow people out. And if you could say we could win a couple games this week 15-1, it'd be great. But that traditionally doesn't happen in this conference. So, we just got to learn how to play in those close games. And certain teams, they win those tight games. Oregon right now is winning a bunch of tight games because I'm quite sure they're playing good baseball and they've got really, really good belief in those games. And if we play in some tight games this weekend at Oregon, we have to have that same mindset.